It's about to go down. It's another episode of the best show in the house. It's the Carlos Siqueira Show, and today is a beautiful day in paradise. I want to know one thing that you guys are grateful for, because today, oh yeah, we're gonna bring it, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have somebody here super special. And we're gonna talk about a subject that a lot of people like to talk about. And why not bring somebody here? Let me just give you guys the proper introduction over here about this sister. I have an Emmy nominee writer, producer of Amazon City on Prime, supermom, badass, lioness, Michelle Kanan in the house. How are you, sister?
I'm amazing. That's quite an intro coming from you, because you're a powerhouse. So I know you don't pass that out lightly.
Oh, my friend, so good to see you. Well, today is actually the International Podcast Day. So it's been such a blessed day. And oh, man, I was like, wow, it's been a massive day today, all about contribution. You and I, we were planning to do this like an hour earlier. And I appreciate you still able to make it here. As I was telling you, I was on a call with Gary Vee and a bunch of other leaders. And we were all focusing on how can we help more people out of hunger and eliminating poverty. You know my mission, right? Making poverty history. And I'm just so happy that you are here today for us to talk about this topic, man, because I think this is a topic that not a lot of people want to. I say sometimes we just have to look at the devil and face it. And social dilemma, mental health is something that is destroying a lot of families. Yeah. It's destroying many families where kids are not talking to moms and moms not talking to kids and brothers and sisters, and they're happening within our own families, and not a lot of people is willing to talk about. And this stuff that we hide, we were literally talking about this earlier with this group of leaders. That shit that you are hiding right now, it will set you free.
Right.
The stuff that you don't feel like talking about. You know what I mean? Like right now, like the whole thing with bullying, social bullying, and like internet bullying, and it's just chaos. And it's speaking of bullying, just to give you guys some idea, Michelle, her husband, great friend of mine, did you guys happen to know that one blondie jerk dick that was in the movie Karate Kid? Yeah, that one.
That guy.
That's her husband. And I bet you, I was looking for the photo.
Oh, wait, let me see. I think I have another one.
My brother right there, Sean, he was in the Karate Kid in the movie. That was the guy. He was the bully one, that bully Daniel's son. So it's funny how I have you here today to talk about social dilemma. And then what you got? Look at that. How cool.
How great are Karate Kid fans? Somebody made this.
I'm telling you, man, my people in Brazil, they love you guys, man, in Brazil. Like, Sean, he did not even walk in Brazil. Look at that. How cool. I love it.
That's him.
Where can people buy that, Michelle?
Yeah. Yep.
What is that? Amazon?
Go to www.seankanan.actor.
SeanKanan.actor. Any karate fans over here, just go to www.seankanan.actor. That's what I'm talking about. I just love you too. And I had to mess with Sean here for a little bit. That's my brother from another mother right there.
Do it.
Yeah, no, Sean is awesome. And Sean and I, we're great friends. We shared stages before with him and yourself. And it's just, you guys are such a power couple. And I'm more grateful to talk about this topic with you, because Michelle, you and I, we had many conversations over the years, and you just like, man, I mean, people, I know that you and I are talking about like having going through some struggles with our own kids, right? I mean, you have so many children, and we talk about all the dark stuff that people, they don't want to talk about. So if you don't mind, sharing with us, Michelle, because you out there, you're in LA, all your children's in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, and the whole life. And it's a lot of darkness that goes on. Yeah. People, they see the pretty and pink, but they don't know the darkness, the shit that goes down, right? That sweat, those tears behind closed doors. How has this whole social dynamics and social dilemma has impact your relationship with your kids, Michelle? If you could share with us some dark times and how did you overcome the dark times so that somebody listening to us right now can probably, learn some golden nuggets from there, then maybe they are going through that.
Mm-hmm. I think it all kind of started when I was having one of my daughters help me, and she was about 14 at the time, and I needed her to help me make phone calls. And she picked up my phone and she dialed, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "I think your phone's broken. Every time I hit send, it goes, eh." And I was like, "Oh no, that's the dial tone." And she's like, "What's a dial tone?" And that's kind of when it clicked for me that we were talking to entirely different generations and in different tech worlds, and it was a big rift, and she turned around and thought she was so clever and funny that she took a cassette tape and showed her sister, and her sister said, "Oh yeah, that's a movie." And she's like, "No, it's music, haha." And it just was, it kind of resonated with me that things change so rapidly now that it's really kind of tough. It gives me whiplash thinking about this and that and how this relates and keeping up with all of the things. And then I started thinking that my youngest are twins, and they were entirely raised on the internet. They're the first generation that has been entirely raised on the internet. And they have so many different concerns and worries and fears that as a mom who grew up, like watching things go by, I had time to adapt and adjust and digest technology, and they just don't. And as a mom, you really have to be sensitive to that with your children, because it's not how it used to be, where you're just like, "Yeah, I did that when I was a kid," and now you can. It's not that way anymore. It's a whole new world. It's like a different planet. So I think one of the biggest gaps now is that my oldest would have, he is a big fan of things that I taught him, of the lost art of critical thinking, where you do some critical thinking before you would just, if somebody, if your friend tells you, "Hey, it's this way," you should think about it and be mindful of it, and, draw on things that to be true. But as it went down to my youngest, they don't even know who's telling the truth anymore. There are no paradigms anymore with the internet. Their job was supposed to be to connect people, because there used to be people on farms, and they would, try for a better life, and move to another country, like say from Brazil. And, they would leave their family, and, they would have to go and hustle and get a calling card and pay $30 a minute to talk. And it was like, "Hello."
Be in a line with people. It was like 30 people, you're there waiting and you're sweating.
And the payphone. Yeah. And now it's kind of like right now while we're talking, I'm talking to somebody in China. And like we're right in the same room. And it's just so different that there's just so much access now. And because of that, we don't know who are the truth tellers and what is the truth. And we've lost sight of the communication, and the internet, like any other business, has become a business. And their main goal is to keep your eyeballs on the screen, not to connect you with your family, not to make your life better, not to make your life even easier. It's to make you spend money. Yeah. So kids don't understand that because they grew up with it. And there was a time when they did set out to make the internet about connecting people. And, the one thing that is the through line that I think every parent out there and every child needs to hear every day is connection. We need to be connected. We need to be connected to our children. And I mean, think about it. We send our kids to school for like 8 hours a day with someone who we kind of meet, we hopefully know, but for the most part, that person is raising your child during the time they wake up in the morning till pretty much they come home, eat, and you're doing their homework. So you really have to be connected to your child from an early age and make sure that you have a meaningful conversation, a meaningful connection, and make your kids know that they have access to you and that you're their heart, they're your heart, and you're,
And then you talk to them, right, Michelle? Like, I mean, asking them, like, hey, what did you learn in school today? So that you know what the system is trying to implant on your kids, because sometimes it might be something that's different from your beliefs, and it's okay to agree to disagree. So you see so much divisiveness. I don't want to get into politics here right now, but
no, for sure.
It's like, why not? Back in our days, we would agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't as crazy as it is all this chaos happening right now.
Because it's communication. It's
crazy.
Communication.
Remember those days? Why do you think I bring my boombox on this stage? and I do my thing.
Because you're badass.
I appreciate that. But you know what I mean? It's like, remember how much love and connection we have? We all go to that corner. We bring the boombox, and then we bring the cheap wine and cheap beer. Remember the Red Dog? It's like a $15 for like a 30 pack.
Paper bag.
Paper bag, and we will connect so much, way more. That's the amount of stuff that was released inside our bodies. That's component. Maybe I messed it up with some of the chemical terms here, but it was so much, way bigger connection did this damn thing. Now, in the schools, in the buses, in the train, on the streets, like sometimes they fly in from Brazil or from Mexico or Australia. They come here to America, or we go to other countries, right? And to go see and explore, but then everybody's here. And you're like, hold up, you see that Bay Bridge there on movies? And then
it's not the same. I have to say, like, having tourists come, or like my relatives will come and they're like, oh, you live in Hollywood, I want to see Hollywood, and like and then they come and I'm like, yeah, it's a block and a half of like really dirty stores that have like gum and pee on the stars, and then the man's Chinese theater, they're like, it's a movie theater. And I was like, that's why it's called Chinese theater. Like, it's a theater. Like, and you look for things and it's just not, the hype isn't there.
I'm telling you, man. And there's all the fires that we're going through right now. So the skies are dirty. But even when it's not a fire, so much pollution. No, I'm with you. And Michelle, tell me something. Man, it's just like so many things that I want to ask you. But here's a good one. So tell me about it. How did anybody right now that's struggling, that's going through chaos? Let me tell you something about this girl over here, guys. So how did how did you went from being a carpool mom of five little kids, right? Or little devils sometimes, right?
Yes.
How did you go from being a carpool mom to a Emmy nominee writer in one of the most difficult places to become an Emmy nominee? Because it's so much competition. Just walk us through, like, how did you do it, sister?
I mean, I'm going to have to give you a shout out. Being friends with Carlos made me think anything is possible. But I mean, for real, if you can't dream it, you can't do it. And for me, I just took a chance. I really took a chance. And, I didn't do one of those crazy things like where I quit my job and left my home and ran off to Hollywood. I went and I met people, I investigated, and I looked at it like, okay, this is going to be a new business. And I treated it like a business. I gave it the respect and the time. And let me tell you, it was a lot of work. I mean, you have to have a really, really thick skin, because I've heard no, I've heard hell no, I've heard you should go home, I've heard, crazy, crazy things. But then when that one thing hits, it becomes an addiction. And so now I'm a producer with a writing problem. And, writing is just fun. It really is. It's an escape. And there's nothing more magical than seeing your words come to life and, watching it. And, like at the end, your name just crawls down and you see your name up in lights. It's magic. And I think that I keep putting up with all the craziness of it because I surround myself with professionals, with like-minded people that, there's always the Hollywood party crowd that, they want to do bad things. And I just stay away from them.
Yeah.
I make sure that everything I do, it has critical thinking behind it and makes sense and has a business model, and I'm respectful and I keep my word. And that's something in Hollywood that is, if you keep your word, people know. If you don't keep your word, people know. And
Yeah.
Hollywood forgives, but not when you don't do what you say you're going to do. And you have to be, everybody thinks, like, even my kids were like, oh, I'm going to be famous. And I said, okay, well, like, this is what it takes. It's not like you wake up one day and there's a van out front and they're like, hey, we're going to make you famous. Put on your famous clothes. It's not like that at all. It's like taking an ice cube and rolling it up a hill to make it a snowball and to keep pushing it and getting it bigger and bigger and bigger. Sometimes it rolls over you and smushes you and you got to keep pushing it back up. Otherwise it goes away, because even when you have success, it's very fleeting. And so you have to constantly be selling yourself and keeping people around you, keep your audience, keep things going. I mean, it's a bigger job than, sometimes I think I should be like a checker at a grocery store, because it's not as angry. There's some simplicity to it. But like, you have to have like strong support group, strong work ethic, thick skin, and stay off the internet.
For real, especially out there, man. And when you go into anybody here listening to us or watching us live, you're going through your dreams right now, and then you start comparing yourself with other people. And then, but right now you're on your chapter 1 or 2, but maybe they are on their chapter 30 or 50. And you say something key, Michelle, which is clarity and focus. You know what you wanted, you stay consistent, you put yourself around the right peer group, and you just went for it with that thick skin. I'm going to do it no matter what. And I love that. Because there, guys, that clarity of knowing, okay, what is your why? Why you are going to do it. I remember, I think it was probably like 14, 15 years ago, when I first moved to LA from Miami. I was in the telecommunication training guys to go door to door. And I was a great trainer, had made a lot of people a lot of money. So I thought, now I'm in LA, maybe I can do acting part-time, or I can, be a producer part-time. Yeah, right. Guess what? I went in, I never talk about this story. I took in the photos, the headshot. I went to a few offices, and there was like no after no after no. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm already making a few $100,000 a year. Screw these people. Because in my mind, I thought of it that, I have this skill set. I'm going to just handle a yes. Yeah, and then that's when I realized it. Man, Hollywood, it's hard. Hollywood, but you know why? Because they didn't have it easy. That is this concept. Yeah, there's a lot of evil in Hollywood, but there's also a lot of great people.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And right now is a big revival. I've been preaching and I've been saying Jesus is coming to Hollywood, baby.
I feel it. I see it. I mean, the COVID thing has really tested people's creativity. And before it was the studios where you had to know somebody in order to get in. And now anyone with an iPhone can make something. And, it's like, did you ever hear the story about the 2 mice in a barrel? That there's 2 mice and they fall into a barrel of cream, and one mouse, they're paddling and paddling. The mouse goes, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. And he just falls asleep and he drowns. And the other mouse is pedaling and pedaling, pedaling, trying to get out, can't get out. And all of a sudden his foot touches and he had made butter. So he paddled his little way and he climbed on top of the butter and got out of the barrel. So like, that is what inspires me to keep going and to be clear and focused. And if something's too good to be true, it is. It's for sure. And so no, and and you have to look at it from a term of business, because it's really easy to hear no and think, oh, I'm not good. But it's not. It's about, like, for example, if you had a 5-year-old and you tell your 5-year-old, hey, could you design a restaurant? And the 5-year-old is like, yeah, it's going to be a cake, and then there's going to be ice cream, and then there's going to be candy, and that's going to be like the whole restaurant. And you think, okay, well, the first thing you're going to say is, oh, yeah, I can. But like instinctually you go, but that's not a restaurant, because people aren't going to buy that. And that's what Hollywood is. And it's about timing. It's not that you're bad. It's just you're not right for that spot. You know, you're an all candy buffet in a diabetic neighborhood. You know, it's just not going to work well. So you just find your niche and find where you, and think of it from a business perspective. And, you know, that I think will get you a lot further than just going from, no, they hate me. And, you know,
Yes, no, that is so true, Michelle. You know what I mean? What you just said. And I always, before I forget, let me just give it a shout over here on a 10-second commercial, and then we'll be right back. Wow, that's what I'm talking about, Michelle. And it's so true, man. I love it. What a cool dog you have there. What's his name?
this is Charlie.
Charlie. Oh, he looks so cute.
She's so mad at me right now. I took her to Starbucks and I got her some water, but it's really hot out, and she was drinking it and she got brain freeze. So she was so mad. She kicked over my drink.
And you know what's funny, Michelle? Animals, man, pets, they are so powerful in a way that to disconnect. Let's talk about, you know, a couple of tips here that we can help. What do you think, Michelle? You know, I mean, like, because I really feel bad for our grandkids. If we don't do something about it, and if we don't speak more about the social dilemma, and you already know, you and I have a conversation about this the other day. I think maybe we could do a documentary and maybe do something on Netflix one of these days. You know, we both super connected in that world, and I think because that's how we're gonna get to people by through entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Because right now it's chaos. Everybody on their phone, and even for us to talk about this right now, we are. Remember, right now this is being televised everywhere, right? Roku, Amazon TV, you know, Amazon Prime. We are all over social media right now,
Wow.
and we going. Oh, speaking about pets, hold on. I have a pet over here that came to say hi. And then this is so cool. It's for the first time on the show. Look who I have here, Mr. Sprinkles, my bird. So for you guys that listen to us on the podcast, come on YouTube or visit me on Facebook so you can see him live. We got Sprinkles.
I love him.
My love bird, Sprinkles.
Hey,
hi, look, Charlie Sprinkles. Isn't she so cute? A little dog. You guys have no idea how therapeutical this bird is for me, for my wife, my daughter, our family.
Wow.
You know, and it's funny because how we're talking about social dilemma and revival. I love this stuff because you and I can go to so many topics because we so much wisdom, so much shit.
Know.
Oh, and then, you know, all the darkness that you know in Hollywood. Maybe we'll save that darkness story for the next episode. But I definitely want to go over, we have a few more topics since we have another, 10, 15 minutes here before our next things that we got to take care of. Ways that we can help somebody right now. Maybe all the tips, Michelle, that you can share for somebody that's maybe they see themselves. Think about it, right? For right now, guys, you guys listen to us, watching us.
Mm-hmm.
When you wake up in the morning, is it the first thing that you do?
Mm-hmm.
Is it go grab that phone? If it is, you are an addict. So, I'm giving it to you right now, but it comes from a place of love.
That's me.
I love it. I love it that you're playing full out, and I wouldn't expect any less from you. But what do you think, Michelle? You know, what do you think we could do, you know, to help with it? Like what I do, like I used to do that, right? So what I start doing myself, I will go kiss, you know, my wife and my daughter, good morning, and then I will go pray and I will meditate before. So I made like I literally, and you know how chaos, you know, I have international businesses, employees around the world. It's the instinct. Let me see what's gonna happen today. Like, you know, it's always something, right? And so I was like, you know what? Hold it. For my own mental health, I'm gonna kiss my wife and my daughter good morning. I'm gonna go pray first. I'm gonna go do something before I even touch that thing. Right. Because that's where my mind would go. It would go right down the phone. So what are you doing so that you, because I mean, for God's sake, you tell people to go watch more stuff. You and I are on social media right now, right?
I get it.
But
So I think that, I mean, first, the conversation, I think, from having, you have to set boundaries for yourself. I actually learned this a really long time ago because I've always worked from home. And then when my kids were in school, I would work in the office and then I would pick them up and come home, but I'd work at home again. So I think, you have to have a balance in your life. You have to make sure that you have the triangle, and the triangle is diet, exercise, and sleep. Oops, sorry, my battery's gonna die. So diet, exercise, and sleep. And one of the things for sleep is make sure you get enough, but don't work in your bedroom. Leave one room in your home where it's electronic free so that you can go in there and sleep and get a good night's sleep. Because if you don't have enough sleep, you're gonna be crazy anyway. And don't do things when you're laying in bed ready to sleep or when you first wake up, because you're in this kind of hypnotic state, because you're just coming out of, your brain has just been asleep or it's just falling asleep. So you're extremely suggestible. So whatever you do in that time before you go to sleep or right when you wake up, that's what's going to impact your day the most. So make it important. So kiss your wife, spend time with your child, spend time with your pet, whatever it is, do something, because I think resentment is a killer. I think resentment does everything, and people don't notice resentment. Instead of saying, because it's not okay anymore to say, I'm angry, or, I'm upset, or I'm distraught. It's not. What happens is it comes across as numb, and you have this numb feeling in your life where you just nothing really makes you happy. You're not really excited about things. You don't really have energy. You just kind of well, okay, I guess if it happens, and you just drift along. And I call it time traveling. Because you time travel. I really was 27 last week, and now my child is 27. So we couldn't possibly be 27 together, but I feel it because I time traveled, because every day was the same. I was taking care of kids and I was so busy. So you have to unplug, and that's what meditation is about. People think it's about spirituality, or it's not. It's about connecting to the life that you're living and the life you want to live. And for me, when I did that, I went from being a soccer mom in the suburbs to be, swimming with the sharks in Hollywood. And and I've had success at it because I stay true to myself. I take care of myself. I give myself the time and the permission to unplug and to do things and to think about things other than what's being fed to me. And it's really hard to do that for your children because, first of all, they don't want to listen to you anyway. It's always what'd you do at school? Nothing. What'd you learn today? Nothing.
It's like like an emoji. You're talking to an emoji when you're talking to kids nowadays.
Exactly.
It's the only way to get through them. It's like it's gotta be through stories. It has to be super entertaining every time I'm speak
and relatable.
Yeah, for real. Because if not, they just and it's so funny you say that. And I want you guys listening to us right now and watching us here to let us know if you some of the things that you guys are doing it right now to help combat, because this is a disease. This is a big problem.
For sure.
Not a lot of people are talking about it. And not only that, we're going against the algorithm just by even talking about this, because we are telling people to consume less social media, to spend less time on the phone. And everybody's been programmed since we were kids, before social media was a TV, right? Television. You are told to watch it, just watch it, and vision. What is that? Hypnotic. This shit has been implanted on us.
Exactly. Exactly. So you got to get crafty with your kids and, dehypnotize them. And, every magician's greatest trick is hypnotizing your audience. So what I used to do is I used to say my kids were a captive audience because I'd throw them in the car, because they can't jump out on the freeway. So that's when we'd have really big conversations. And I would sneak before, now you can't really do it, but before I would sneak the batteries out of their phone. And so that they would get in the car, and the phone would die. And it was like, oh no, now I have to talk to my mother. And we would have conversations about things, and it had to be very subtle. and like encourage them to talk and talk to them about something and pose things to them, because kids are not dumb. And you know, they need to feel heard and important, and they need to feel like you have some input. And so the worst thing you can do for your kid is go, I know because I said, like my mom did. She's like, because I told you to. You can't really do that these days, because kids Google and go, wow, that's abuse.
Yeah.
So you have to,
you're right.
right. So you have to be careful. Yeah, you have to be careful, and you have to encourage and incorporate your kids in, and you know, be connected with them. Like I used to have my kids text me at school. I knew they were not allowed to use their phone, and they would get in trouble. And I would tell the school, but they're texting me, their mother. So it's okay because it's me.
Real.
And they're like, well, what if it's not? And I said, well, I had their phone blocked, so they can only text me. And they're like, well, okay. And I would show up at school if they didn't text me.
No, for real. No, this sounds like my wife, man. She's super protective. And that's what I do. I'm like militant. I'm old school. You know, you got to check in. And I love it, you know, and, you know, you have to adapt those things, guys, and right now, and do things that are a little bit unconventional, right? One thing that I did was, like, I have no TVs in the room. I moved into a new house about 3 years ago. And my wife and I made an executive decision not to have a TV in the master bedroom or in the kids' bedroom. The TVs is gonna be like in the garage, you know. We have in the bathroom, in the garage, in the sauna, in the freaking living room, in the kitchen, but not in the master bedroom. You know what I mean? And literally, we made an executive decision not to do it because, you know, like all this stuff, I don't want it to be like hooked up to that thing. And then with all this shit, you know, as you're sleeping, this stuff is being downloaded in your brain. You're dreaming. Have you ever noticed you watch a nightmare movie and then you're dreaming crazy shit? Guess what? It's all being programmed. It's programmed into you. So you have to be careful. I want to challenge you guys to start thinking about your own thinking. Unfortunately, not that many people talk about this. And the ones who talk about, they don't get that much likes and shares because social media, they don't like us talking about stuff. You know what I mean? Think about it. When's the last time that somebody told you? When is the last time that you start thinking about your own thinking? You know what I mean? We're not told you. I mean, this great book on there, Think and Go Rich. Why you think that book sold so many? Because people are not told not to think. You know, I'm a great friend. A big shout, by the way, to the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Good friends of mine. My brother Don Green, if you're watching this, I love you, brother. And, you know, but it's so because I want you guys to start thinking about this, things that you guys can do. They are practical. Like Michelle and I are talking here, like no TVs in the room. One thing that I do, Michelle, I don't know if you ever tried that. I'm old school Italian and Brazilian, you know, a lot of Italians in my family. So I get a hat and a round table, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I even talk about this on my book, Work Like an Immigrant. Great plug.
I like it. I read it.
Yeah. All your devices on the hat. And then, you know, no phone on the table on breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because one thing that, if that's going to be your last breakfast, lunch, or dinner with your family.
Yeah.
Would you rather be on your freaking phone all day, or would you rather have a conversation? And what I do, we go around the table, and I tell them, tell me 3 things you are grateful for. And everybody has to answer, myself included, my kid, Isabella, my wife. Tell me 3 things that is a must that you do. I heard some war. Oh, I heard some crazy stuff.
What is it? Is it yours?
No, it's not on mine. It's on yours.
It can't be on mine. I don't have anything else on.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
I know exactly what I gotta do.
What the heck?
What is it?
That never happened before.
So you were scared when you told me.
What the heck?
What is it?
I have no idea. Did somebody hack into our podcast or live? I hear some. What the heck?
I know it wasn't me.
No, that's not on this end either. I heard the Sin City on the back alley. Holy shit, I never seen that happen before.
It sounds like the movie Sin City.
Right? Wow, that was crazy. I never seen that happen before. All right, it's so good. But you see, guys, we cannot control what it goes down. But guess what? We didn't stop. We just kept it going. We actually play with it. You know what I mean? We're going to be like, that's how life is, right? Crazy shit will happen, and you have no control other than what is the meaning that you are going to give to that situation. I want you guys to think about this. Let's really think about this, because you're talking about something very important here, is to help us with this thing, because like Michelle said, she agreed here on the live that she's an addict. I was an addict, and I started doing things, and I'm still a lot to work on. And that's what I love about this, because we can have conversations like this and play full out, because that stuff right there, guys, is what's gonna set you free.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you don't want to talk about, just by recognizing that you are an addict, and then by now we are forcing ourselves. Okay, hold up. Let me put the phone outside the room to be charged versus in the room. Let me not have TV, right?
I think one of the things that's really important to be able to do that and keep doing that, because we have a tendency to justify, well, I got to check my business. My daughter's this, my son is that, my whatever. So I think you have to look at why, because why is very, very important. For me, I do complete blackouts. I'll go 2-3 weeks with no TV, no phone, no internet, no nothing, zero.
Love that.
My own thoughts and a pen and a paper, because the internet is the death of thought. Yes. It's meant to inspire you, but it can control your thoughts. So like I found myself on a deadline and I had to write a script, and I turned it in and I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of this. It's really good. It just flowed and it was so fast. It felt so good to write it. And I turned it in and I got it back the next day and they're like, yeah, stop watching Riverdale. And I was like, oh my God, I was watching Riverdale. Like I wrote, like subconsciously, I wrote the storyline. I mean, it was different characters, but like it was literally the storyline. It was enough. Somebody else called me on it and I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh, wow. So now when I'm writing, complete blackout. I need whatever's inside my brain to come out.
Walk me through that. So how often do you do that? I love the idea. 2 to 3 weeks, blackout, no
when
TV,
I'm working,
no social medias. So you literally go for like 2 weeks, like literally 15 days, 21 days, like
till I finish the product.
Wow.
Whatever I'm writing, whatever I'm working on, till I finish it, that's what I do.
So you would not even turn on the TV. You would not scroll down through social. You literally shut down everything. If you use your phone, it's just to call your family. And by the way, guys, that's apps out there that you can actually program the apps to not that doesn't let you use social media. And the only thing that you can do is doesn't let you surf the web. It only allows you can literally program the number of people that, and Michelle, and see right there. See, that's the difference, right? That those Emmy nominees getting Amazon Prime, getting your husband right now, Sean is on Netflix. That's that stuff right there that I'm talking about that nobody's willing to do. Because you see, look at that proximity, right? Monkey see, monkey do. So
well, and the thing is that because at the end of it, you just think the first time I did it, after that happened, I started working. I was like, oh, but see, now I know that I'm doing that. So now I'll be smart. So I could just watch a little thing and I won't watch Riverdale and then that will be perfect. Wrong. It isn't. It's pervasive. You have to just know is no. And you know why? Because I want to be successful. If I want to be successful, I can't do this. It's one or the other, and it's down to personal choice. You have to make your personal choices and stick to them. You can't have everything. You have to decide. That's what the word is, decide. Kill one side. Cut it in half. Which one? And if you can do that, it will raise you above any station. I decided I didn't want to be a carpool mom anymore. I didn't want to live in the suburbs. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to explore my creative side. So, I mean, I may as well have told my friends I'm joining the circus because they were like, what? You're going to what? And no one thought I would do it. And I was pretty successful as a stay-home mom. And I changed. And, my life is totally different. And I fall into the traps, of course. But I remember why. Why am I doing this? I want to. And since I want to, that means I can't do this. I can't lay around. I can't watch TV all day. I can't do that. I cannot. It's not part of it. And that's one thing that you can get across to your kids is make a challenge with them and say to them, I want this. What do you want? And let them come up with something insane, like something that's just completely unattainable and say, okay, how do you eat a 50-foot elephant? One bite at a time, one bite. So you break it down for them and you say, I'm doing this, you're doing that. And even the bigger, my kids were like, oh, I'm going to go to Disneyland. It's going to be just me there. And I was like, okay, let's do it. How do we do this? So we called Disneyland. It costs a ridiculous amount of money. And they're
I
like,
can imagine.
just find the money and you could do this.
At least right now it's cheaper. We can jump the fence.
Exactly. And they were like, oh, we got COVID. We're good. All good.
I love this, guys. I mean, if you guys, I highly recommend, because I think this can benefit so many people. Think about it, right, guys? Think about it right now, an area of your life that you should be focusing on more often. Like for me, I know it's
for real focus.
Right, for real.
I can focus when it's convenient, or I can focus on the pieces I want, but for real. For real.
Old school, like notepad, like on your computer, post note on in your wall bathroom. Like when I go to my bathroom, you are fat, Carlos. Time to go work out. So it's like I don't even have a choice. I'm looking at it. Yeah, you are fat. You cannot hide it.
Wow. In
your fancy studio, you cannot hide it. The camera does not make you look skinnier, brother. You fat as hell. Is what I tell myself. And I write it on the freaking post-it note and I put it there because the truth will set me free. It will set you free. What is the area of your life? Maybe you need to spend more time with your spouse. One thing that I start implementing, I do daily walks with my spouse. I don't have TVs in the restroom. We will still do the hack. 3 questions around the table.
Wow.
Like you're saying, 2 to 3 weeks. Don't leave, like you said, don't leave your phone in the room. I want you guys to start implementing, pick what you think, and start implementing some of those strategies, guys, because this will help so much. And you never know. One of these days, maybe Michelle and I, we're on Netflix talking about disrupting the social, dilemma, and what I mean. Who come out with?
I feel like, Carlos, we could make this like a weekly thing. We have so much more stuff to talk about.
I think we can, and you know what I mean. And we right on the top on the hour. And guys, definitely, Michelle. I'm gonna take you on it. We should get on this again and do social dilemma, the darkness part 2. We'll come up with another date, and then
maybe we should do a contest. Like we should have a special guest walk on.
I think I like that too. And then we'll bring Sean. That would be great.
That's my most special guest.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, Carlos! I have to tell you, he's just as a spoiler alert, he has got the most amazing story about just picking himself up by his bootstraps and making it happen and putting himself out there. Every time I hear it, and I've heard it millions of times, I cry.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I love hearing Sean's story, and I can't wait to have him on the show. So that we're gonna have a good time.
Actually, Sean. He just walked in. He's giving me the look because we're doing a podcast in 20 minutes. But yeah, I mean, you will hear his story, and it's crushing, and it's amazing, and it's inspiring.
And then maybe when Sean comes, we can probably share some secrets. The stuff that you might know. We know all the secrets, guys, on Hollywood, and we know all the, so I will not share it. I'll be quiet for now, And but Michelle, thank you so much for being here, sister. This was awesome.
Anytime.
Great day to celebrate the International Podcast Day, to talk about something that is so many people right now, and families are being destroyed. People are sad, depression, suicidal, and we all can help, guys. And literally, right here today, we lay down so many strategies that we can always start implementing. Focus on your health, your relationship, your business, and I guarantee you, man, those 2-3 weeks. So many people listen to me right now. You know it. You want to make a little bit more money. Imagine if just a little bit less social media, a little bit less TV, spending that time getting on the phone, connecting. I was talking about this the other day. One thing that Steve Jobs and I have in common, we pick up the phone. Steve used to call people in Silicon Valley, literally CEOs of companies. Hey, I'm working on this. Do you have the part? I'm thinking about the movies. Do you have the part for this thing? And he literally did that with the CEO. I think it was a Hewlett Packard. I forgot. And he was working on. And then he's like, "Yeah, I have a kid. I gave him an internship."
Yeah, you murdered that story, but yeah.
For real, it's like I totally murdered the story. But again, what he did, he always picked up the phone. That's one thing that Jobs did. He picked up the phone, connected, talked to people. And again, something similar that you guys also have, that clarity. He said, I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to build this amazing company, right? He did that with Apple, with Pixar, you know what I mean? And now you did the same thing to become an Emmy nominee. Now you're on Amazon. And I mean, Sean, his stuff is on Netflix, and so many other amazing things that you are working on that we will not share with them yet, you know? But if you guys are struggling artists right now, struggling actors, struggling musicians, Michelle and I are going to be calling you. We're going to be calling you because we know that many of you out there have a large following, and a lot of you are not collecting emails. A lot of you are out, you know, since Michelle and I know.
Tuning. Follow the business side of it.
It's like we're going to be calling a lot of you guys out. And if you guys are right now struggling, whether if you are actor, musician, an artist, you know, videographers, people, makeup artists, Michelle and I are going to be calling a bunch of you to help you guys out. We have some amazing things that we are working on to help many of you out there where you don't have to spend money, where we can all collaborate, help you out. We can help all your followers, and we can all make poverty history together. So more to come on that. And Michelle, where can they follow you, my friend? The best place to follow Michelle Kanan.
So you can follow me on any of the social medias. I'm Michelle Kanan on all of them, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can go to studiocity.show and watch Studio City and see and figure out, get some inspiration. It's about a struggling actor. So you can see what it's really like. Season 2 is coming soon. You can follow me any of those places.
And right now is a great time to watch it too, because a lot of them struggling out there right now. And it's just, I can't wait, man, for some of the things that we're going to be doing for all these struggling actors out there right now, and musicians. And just wait, beautiful people. And not only them guys, also you guys right now that are struggling at home, just reach out, man. Reach out. If you guys are going through some difficulty, need help making some money, Michelle and I, it's just like, just reach out on social media. We are out there helping so many people right now. All you have to do, pick up the phone, call us, tell us your story. You know what I mean? Maybe you have a crazy story that maybe you can come on my show and her show, and you just never know. If you don't pick up the phone and ask, we won't know. You know, it's like it's about picking up the phone and showing up, spending less time on TV and on freaking social media, and then pick up the phone and connect with us. Like, connect, go social media for that, and then try and call us, you know, but then do not go surf it, do not go scroll it, you know, like go connect, go do something different, you know what I mean? Go help other people. Right now, you're going through chaos, find on helping others. Go talk, connect with your local businesses right now, they are going under. Bring the community together, share strategies, you know what I mean? It's like, find ways to add value. Tell them, hey, check it out, Michelle, check it out, Carlos, they're working on this project. Partner up with us, do a joint venture, become an affiliate marketer with us. So many ways to collaborate. At the end of the day, like we were talking earlier, is about giving more than what you take. Think about this for a minute, right? And we're gonna finish this on that topic about giving more than what you're taking. As I always say, at the end of the day, life is about contribution, not acquisition. It's always about the mission, not the commission. They're not going to talk about, you know what I mean, Michelle's and Carlos' fancy houses and cars and our friends, none of that crap. No, they're going to talking about the crazy stuff and us being out there in the struggles and the times that we contribute and we help in the community, whether it was during the pandemic or when shit was hitting the fan in previous years. When, you know, that's the stuff that people are going to care, my friend. And Michelle, any last words? I know that you and I got to run. And any last words, sister, that you love to say, or some words of wisdom? I know that you dropped so many knowledge.
My advice is take some classes, educate yourself, keep your mind busy with knowledge. Take a philosophy class online, take a psychiatry class or psychology class online, take a political science class online, take a logic class. Those 4 classes will change your life. It will help you to think about how you fit in the world, what the world is really like, and where you're going. It'll help cure the aimlessness and the fear that you have about the future.
Yes, no, I love it. Oh, I gotta give some shout out here. Some of the comments before we go. You know, I got Mo Rock. You know, my favorite show. He loves it. Mo Rock. Big shout to my brother, the Los Angeles Tribune in the house. Karate Kid 3, baby. And, oh, look at he asked, is he going to be on Cobra Kai? Cannot tell you yet. Who knows? We got Shauna say, wow, awesome, love this. We got people here from LinkedIn, Facebook, all over the world. Michael, cool, happy to get this. Carlos and Michelle. Let's see what else we got going on over here. We got they are digital nomads. Awesome. We have people even over here saying, I love that. People on LinkedIn, easy, say, OMG. My daughter says that all the time. You know, dehypnotized for real. That was a great documentary, Pollyanna. So very
really
cool.
good.
I appreciate all the love, guys. You guys are awesome. We have so much love over here from Strauss social media. And guys, as you guys know, Michelle and I, we do this. This show is a free show, a free podcast. Is that Sean?
Hey, Carlos, how are you, buddy?
Did you hear me talking about shit earlier?
I did.
You remember the blondie? No, you know what I did at the beginning of the show? I put this banner here. Did you guys know that blondie jerk from the movie Karate Kid that used to bully people is this guy right here? Hey, my friend, you came in towards the end, but I want to get you on our next show. And we just had a great talk over here. Your wife and I, man, as always, brother. And I can wait for them to hear your stories, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
I'm telling you, man, all they struggle, like I was talking to Michelle earlier, people, they see all the good, but they don't know the darkness. They don't know
that's true. Listen, I'm looking forward to sharing the stage with you again because your story is phenomenal too. And you know, it's amazing. People can come from completely different backgrounds and have the same power to inspire people. So that's why I love hearing stories like yours that's so different than mine. And it gets me fired up. Can't wait to do it again.
Say hi to his bird.
Oh, say hi to his bird? I thought that was... no.
That's a bird. Yeah, no, he's
Oh my God, that's adorable.
That's Mr. Sprinkles, because I have
God.
a green screen studio, and Sprinkles is kind of greeny. You know?
I got to say goodbye because I got to go do my podcast over here.
No, I know it's coming out. That's what I was telling Michelle.
Take care, everyone.
Love you, brother. I'll see you soon in the next one. Hey, Michelle, rock and roll, baby. Good to see you. Rock and roll, guys. You guys already know it. Thank somebody here.
Watch
I love you guys.
Studio City.
God bless you. Go see Studio City. Love you guys.
Bye.